Hey, it's Seth Chairpack here, the Red Neo. Welcome to day 14 of your 7-week mind-body reset. This is the final day of week 2, so congratulations for completing another week. And again, just make sure that you have all of your habits somewhere where you can do them every day and make sure that you don't miss any, because we are stacking these habits, these action steps. So in other words, the action step you did on day 1, you're still doing that. Day 2, so on and so forth. So on day 7 today, just a reminder that our insight for this week, game-changing insight, was the hierarchy of value. Your energy is the most valuable personal resource that you have. The second is your time, and the third is your financial resources. I did not include personal relationships because those are not personal resources, right? Those are under the control of other people as well as you. So that's the hierarchy. Most people stay stuck in survival mode because they're valuing their money over their time and over their energy. And some people transcend that and start valuing their time more, which is smart, but they never make that final trip up to the top level where they are seeing their energy as the most valuable resource, right? So that's what we're focusing on this week. And for today, we're going to add to an action step that we started last week, which relates back to the affirmations that I gave you that I call cybernetic affirmations. And you should have been doing your cybernetic affirmation for your identity, for yourself, every single day when you wake up, right? You do your 12 intentional breaths. You do your cybernetic self-focused affirmation. If you miss that, go back to week 1 and day 7, right? Make sure that you add that. But what we're going to do is we're going to add a new cybernetic affirmation, and this has to do with your relationship with food. By the time we get through with this 7-week mind-body reset, we're going to have multiple affirmations that you say different days of the week. One associated with yourself. You're going to say that every day. And the rest will be associated with your relationship with the forms of personal energy in your life. Your money, your time, your work energy, and your food. A lot of people talk about mindset and energy healing and all that stuff, but neglect the fact that the most energy that comes into your body comes into your diet. So we're going to start working on that next week. You cannot have an energetic reset without that. And so we're going to kick that off by writing a cybernetic affirmation that acknowledges 2 things. Number 1, what your relationship with food used to be like, and that might be what it's like right now. And number 2, what it's going to be like going forward. So you might say something like, I, Seth Chairpack, used to eat when I was hungry, but also when I was angry, lonely, or tired. But now I eat only to nourish and to fuel my body. All right, that's it. Now, why do you acknowledge your old habit? Because purely positive affirmations do not work, okay? They just make things worse. They make you want to quit for multiple reasons. The main one being cognitive dissonance. Your mind is hearing something that clashes with a current belief or a current thought system. And if you don't tie those 2 together and say, hey, here's the old belief, here's what it was, here's what we were replacing, well, your mind's just going to fight itself, and you're eventually going to stop doing it. The other reason that you remind yourself of how you used to think is to keep yourself humble. Because what will happen sometimes is you get so confident, something works so well that you stop doing it, right? You say the affirmation every day, you're like, this feels really good. But then if you're not telling yourself how you used to be, well, you're not reminding yourself, hey, this is what you could go back to if you don't stay on top of this. Affirmations are like taking a shower, right? You do it every day. When you stop doing it, you start stinking, period. You can't just take a shower every day for 3 years and be like, okay, I'm good for life. Doesn't work that way. All right, so go ahead and write your cybernetic affirmation that acknowledges your past attitude and relationships with food and what it's going to be like going forward. And we're going to say that every single day next week after our intentional breaths in the morning, right after our self-focused affirmation. And that wraps things up for this week. I'll see you next week, which will be tomorrow.